When Star Trek The Next Generation returned of its second season, the show made a significant change. Season 2, Episode 1, The Child, which aired in 1988, introduced the new Chief Medical Officer of the Galaxy-class USS Enterprise-D, Dr. Katherine Pulaski. It seems in the gap between Season 1 and Season 2, Dr. Beverly Crusher, played by Gates McFadden, had departed the Enterprise to become Head of Starfleet Medical. While Pulaski served aboard the Enterprise-D for almost a year, she later departed the vessel when Dr. Crusher decided to return. But what happened to Pulaski? Where did she end up in the Star Trek universe? Today, we explore the fate of Dr. Katherine Pulaski. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host, Captain Jack. Let's get into it. Of course, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. We're enjoying making these Star Trek videos on various topics, and we hope you're enjoying watching them. If you want to support their development, please join our Patreon via the link below. You'll get exclusive access to videos and events, as well as more Galaxy-class rewards. While you're watching, comment down below whether you like Dr. Pulaski as a character or not. As always, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section, because if you're talking about Star Trek, we want to hear about it. Okay, engage. Before we dive into the fate of Dr. Pulaski, let's explore her backstory. Born Katherine Pulaski, she joined Starfleet and took up a position in Starfleet Medical. Early on in 2353, she was a member of a rescue team responding to a Folian attack on a Federation starbase. Carl Riker, father of William T. Riker, was the only survivor. This is the first time the two met. Before joining the USS Enterprise-D, Pulaski was Chief Medical Officer on the USS Repulse, under the command of Captain Taggart. The Doctor also had a deep transporter phobia, to the point she would rarely use them while posted to vessels. She would prefer to use Starfleet shuttlecraft to get around. Kinda reminds me of another Doctor from another Enterprise. She would join the Enterprise-D in 2365 to succeed Dr. Beverly Crusher as Chief Medical Officer. Pulaski would serve on the Enterprise-D with the rank of Commander. Even though she was the Chief Medical Officer, she was not considered a bridge officer. Pulaski immediately became involved in the shenanigans of the Enterprise crew. She joined Lieutenant Commander Data and Lieutenant LaForge on a holodeck simulation of a Sherlock Holmes mystery. LaForge had unwittingly given the simulated Professor James Moriarty, Holmes' nemesis, sentience by giving the computer the directive to create an adversary that could defeat Data, not Holmes. Moriarty took control of the program and abducted Pulaski. She was held captive but unharmed until Captain Picard was able to convince Moriarty to release control of the holodeck. Later on in that year, the Enterprise-D was sent to investigate the disappearance of a USS Lantry. They discovered the entire crew died as a result of premature aging. After backtracking the course of the Lantry, they ended up at the Darwin Genetic Research Station on Gagarin 4. The scientists on the station, led by Dr. Kingsley, were attempting to genetically engineer several children and accidentally cause their antibodies to become overzealous. It turns out that due to one of the Lantry's officers being treated for the flu, prior to visiting the station, it triggered the immune systems of the children. As such, the antibodies became airborne and mutated, attacking the Lantry crew. Dr. Pulaski ends up infected via the children and began aging. Thankfully, this situation was resolved when the Enterprise-D crew worked together to find a cure. However, it did involve Pulaski having to use the ship's transporter to save her life. While visiting a colony in 2365, Pulaski, along with Commander Riker, was briefly abducted. The species here took cells from both, intending to use them to preserve their colony, which had been affected by replicative fading. Once she and Riker learned of this, they returned to the planet and destroyed the two clones. However, when Dr. Crusher decided to return to the Enterprise, Pulaski left the ship in early 2366. From there on out, we don't really know what happened to Pulaski. This is where we turn to Star Trek's expanded media. As we've mentioned before in a ton of videos, Star Trek's expanded media covers the events from video games, books, comics, short stories, and more. Dr. Pulaski actually had a rather interesting Starfleet career, told through the many books and novels of the Star Trek universe. Today, we'll go over these. Don't worry, we will mention what book we're referring to, as well as leave a link in the video description, should you want to read these adventures for yourself. Oh, and I highly suggest you do so. Following her time on the USS Enterprise-D, Dr. Pulaski was ordered to return to the USS Repulse. This was her assignment before the Enterprise. The Repulse was now under the command of Captain Taggart's daughter, Ariel Taggart. Pulaski would still be on board the Repulse a year later in 2367. The Repulse, alongside the USS Chekhov and the USS Enterprise-D, took part in a three-way battle between Starfleet, the Borg, and the ancient alien Doomsday Machine. This is told through the novel Vendetta. Following the Repulse, Pulaski would be Chief Medical Officer on board the USS DeBakey. This was a Starfleet medical starship. During a mission to Cygnus 4, Pulaski was called upon to cure a romantic-inducing pathogen that had been discovered. This is told through the short story, Calculated Risk, from The Next Generation. The Doctor would later serve on board the USS Progress under Captain David Gold. Her time aboard the Progress lasted right up until the starship was officially decommissioned in late 2369. After the Progress, she would transfer to the newly commissioned Dreamer space station, which was located in the Slukundai Dreamer sector. Also, at some point in the 2360s, Pulaski would give a guest lecture to students at Starfleet Medical Academy. These adventures take place in the Starfleet Corps of Engineers books, Progress, and Out of the Cocoon. Sometime after 2370, Pulaski was once again back aboard the USS Repulse. She would receive a call from help from her daughter, Jackie Pulaski. It was revealed that her daughter had joined the Maquis, a dangerous terrorist organisation. Even worse, the cell that Jackie was a part of had been responsible for a dangerous genetically engineered disease. Jackie had helped create this, and now wished it to be stopped from being released and harming others. Thankfully, Dr. Pulaski was successful in finding a cure, but her daughter would have to stand trial for her association with the matter. It was believed the prosecution would go in her favour. Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine would go on to testify in her favour. This takes place in the DS9 comic, The Cancer Within, Part 1. In 2376, the Dominion War had ended. Dr. Pulaski was serving at a medical research facility known as the Phlox Institute. Yes, this is named after Dr. Phlox, who served on board the NX-01 Enterprise. Pulaski was still serving the Institute in 2379, when she would attend the wedding of former Enterprise shipmates William C. Riker and Deanna Troi. This takes place in the Next Generation novel, A Time for War, A Time for Peace. In 2385, Dr. Pulaski would meet Dr. Julian Bashir of Deep Space Nine for the first time. Both were attending a medical conference on Bajor. While she was still at the Phlox Institute, her work had brought her renown as an expert in genomic therapy. Pulaski, along with Drs. Bashir, Elizabeth Lenz, and several other medical specialists, would collaborate to resolve the Andorian reproductive crisis. They were using the Shaddai metagenome data, which Bashir had secured from Section 31, the Rogue Intelligence Agency. This takes place in the novel, A Ceremony of Losses. Unfortunately for Pulaski, her role in assisting Dr. Bashir would bring her trouble. In fashioning the cure for the Andorians, it broke official Federation orders. While Bashir was able to escape and travel to Andoria with the cure, Pulaski was taken into custody and placed under house arrest. Eventually, the individual known as Baras Wadaya was exposed as an imposter and a war criminal. They had been using the alias of Aisha Anjar to assume a presidency of the United Federation of Planets. Once they were exposed, the new president pro tempore of the Federation, known as SIPAC, authorized Starfleet to drop the charges against Pulaski and everyone else involved, apart from Bashir. They were released from custody, restored to their former positions, and given accommodations for their actions. This is told through the novel Peaceable Kingdoms. Later that same year, Dr. Pulaski successfully lobbied the Rosalind Franklin Institute for Biomedical Research for a new starship. This was to undertake a multicultural mission of science and exploration. As such, she was given the Effie Donald. This was a Federation Olympic-class vessel. Pulaski would choose to staff the ship herself, with a selected crew consisting of representatives from the Klingon Empire, Cardassian Union, Romulan Star Empire, Ferengi Alliance, and Tzenkethi Coalition. The belief was that science would do what diplomacy can't. The goal was to bring peace between the powers of the Khitomer Accords and the Typhon Pact. She chose her friend, Tanj, to be the director of research and the de facto commanding officer. During this mission, Pulaski would strike up an unlikely friendship with Deep Space Nine's new Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Beverly Crusher. However, she would clash with the station's Starfleet Intelligence Officer, Commander Peter Alden. This is told through the Deep Space Nine novel, The Missing. The book known as the autobiography of Jean-Luc Picard makes reference to Dr. Pulaski. During this, Picard reflects that although he eventually looked for reasons to justify firing Pulaski in order to get Dr. Crusher back, he ultimately just did not like her. As a little tidbit of information, Star Trek Picard Season 3 includes a Federation starship named USS Pulaski. It is unknown if Dr. Katherine Pulaski is the namesake of this vessel. Star Trek fans took to social media to ask production designer Dave Blass. Blass declined to specify if the ship was named after Dr. Pulaski, as that would insinuate that she had died. So that is the fate of Dr. Katherine Pulaski in the Star Trek universe. Honestly, I think it's really good that a story got continued in some of the novels. Again, if you want to read those, they are linked in the video description below this video. Don't forget, tell me what you thought of the character of Pulaski in Star Trek The Next Generation. Comment your thoughts below. Like always, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. A big thank you to everyone who supported us on Patreon. Your support allows us to continue making these Galaxy-class videos. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.